It was fun to get in there last night. There were a lot of weird and strange rigs, some that I remember, or some that I've had as well as remember. But I'm anxious to get in there. Potential growth. Let's see, what else is going on? Peg's going to Atlanta for her and see her girlfriends for a night and a day, or a couple days and one night. And I'll be home alone. I have a safety and security meeting today at 10 o'clock. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check into that South Coast, whatever it is, that 40-meter 7251. I know the name of the net as well as I know my own, but I just can't come up. But I want to say it's SARS, but no, that's your group. Anyway, I'm going to check in because I can check in as a low-power rig. Well, maybe not. I think they specifically said the rig has to be low-power only rig, up to 10 watts. And this
CQ, calling CQ the Old Friends Net. CQ the Old Friends Net. This is WA4LLR. Dave in Burnsville, North Carolina, calling CQ the Old Friends Net. This net meets 3 times weekly, Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 8 a.m., Sunday evenings at 5 p.m. The net's conducted in the amplitude modulation mode, carried out in the roundtable format. So any station that can generate an AM signal is welcome to participate. So stations that would like to join the old friends, give me a call and come now.
N4LQ.
WB4ARK.
Z4 Bravo. WB4NKL.
W4DCS.
K3OS.
Okay, there was a couple of doubles. These are the ones that won. N4LQ, WB4ARK, KZ4B, WB4NKL, W4DCS, and K4JAL. Who did I miss?
N4AK.
K3OS.
Okay, recognizing N4AK, K3OS, and K4GDN. Do we have any others? All right, let me go down the list one more time. N4LQ, WB4ARK, KZ4B, WB4NKL, W4DCS, K4JAL, N4AK, K3OS, K4GDN. Any other stations for the old friends? Well, good morning to everybody. We have 57 degrees and overcast, kind of misty out there. And looks like it's going to be kind of soggy today. Everybody's got a good signal. I'm running the Viking 500 and receiving on the 183D. So we'll go ahead and get started. Steve, down to you. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. Yeah, good morning. Just waking up this morning. Well, we got 1.5 inches of rain last night. It rained steady all night long and all afternoon yesterday. Kind of a light, steady rain. So everything is waterlogged. I am running the Johnson Challenger and driving the AL82 and 75A4 receiver. And so over to Buddy, WB4ARK, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. Okay, Steve, very good copy, as I've got a fairly good copy on everybody this morning. A few stations are a little bit light. It's been raining here. It started yesterday afternoon, and we've got a total of 2 inches exactly of rain at 7 o'clock this morning. So we've had a pretty good dousing of rain, so that's very good for the yard and plants and so forth, trees. So that's very good. Hopefully some of those people that really need it are getting some rain also. Not much else going on right now. We got a little work done in the yard yesterday before the rain started, and well, we had a little bout with a few drizzles, but that wasn't much to speak of. So, KZ4B, WB4ARK.
Okay, WB4ARK in the group. This is KZ4B. Fine business, buddy. Here, radio conditions are quite good. Better than they have been in some time. And Steve, you're hitting 20 over 9 on a super Scotch S-meter. So that's great. We're on the usual T150, driving the AL82, receiving on the PR30. That may change. We picked up several receivers at the Hamfest this weekend at Berryville. It was the best attendance of any Berryville Hamfest, and I've gone to about the last 5 or 6 that I've ever seen. The weather was perfect. Enjoyed seeing Cliff, and I think Cliff and I and a very small handful of others were the only buyers there. It was definitely a buyer's market. The people just still aren't spending money, I don't think. My buddy Mike Cumbo, ND4S, sold the Henry 2K5D amplifiers 80 through 10, except I don't think it works on 10 meters yet. Can be converted, and for $350, and he was happy to get it. And the transmitter, that amp, was in mint condition. I mean, in great shape. The downside is that it wasn't a hypercell transformer, and it was a huge transformer. It's a small amp, but weighed a ton, and didn't have 160 meters on it, and which is typical of Henry. And also typical of Henry is instead of using bread slicers and a band switch, it uses a fixed capacitors instead of bread slicers, and a variable inductance. And to me, that's kind of a potential maintenance headache. In an antenna tuner, it's pretty essential. But in an amp, I think you're better off with just bread slicers. But it was in beautiful condition. Just, I don't think it had any mileage on it at all. And I picked up a SX115 Hallicrafters, which I've been looking for, and it's mint. And I bought a HQ110A loaded. It's got the 6 meter and 2 meter converters, whatever, and which I could care less about, but they're in there. It's in great shape and has a digital readout. This is an aftermarket, but very professionally done digital readout of the frequency that you're tuned to in the space where you normally have the clock, which I don't like clocks in Hammerlands, because on AM you don't need to warm up, and it's close enough to begin with. But it was really a nice catch, and picked up some other. I got a Ameritron ATR30 antenna tuner, so now I have a total of 4. And so that plus the AT5K Palstar, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That covers, I have a tuner for each of the 5 bands. And I'll use the top tuner for 20 through 10 and feed the beam through that. And the others will be 160, 80, 40, and actually I'll have 2 for 20 through 10. But anyway, I very much enjoyed the Hamfest. There were a lot of flea market spaces that were parking spaces, not vendors. And so the place was full of cars, but they weren't all vending. And but still, there was plenty to see. Kind of a dearth, I would imagine, of late model ham gear. So if you're after late model stuff, I guess it all goes on eBay. So it was pretty good if you were looking for older stuff and parts. And I got a crank handle and digital readout for, I think I paid $5 for it. Normally it's like brand new stuff that would normally cost you $50 to $100. That was a good catch. And I also got a Pelican case, waterproof case, that had the guts set up to take either an ICOM 705. I have a Shigu 5100, which is why I got it, and it would take a couple of other POTA QRP transceivers, and that only cost me $25, and I guarantee you that was a $100 plus item and brand spanking new. That was quite a catch. So anyway, I had a lot of fun. So over to Cliff, and he can tell you all about what he ended up with. He was a buyer too. WB4NKL and the group KZ4B over.
Okay, John, KZ4B, it's WB4NKL. It's good to see you up there. I've got 65 degrees here and maybe no rain. Had about an 1/8 inch there overnight. Yeah, I enjoyed the Ham Fest too. It was perfect. We couldn't have asked for better weather. We stopped at Roanoke Ham Fest Saturday. We went up Friday night, spent the night at Roanoke, and took in Roanoke Ham Fest Saturday morning. And it was good too. I bought a another HQ140X, I guess, and some Galaxy transceivers, and another Harvey Wells. I think it was all my purchases between Roanoke and Berryville. Yeah, it was a good Ham Fest. I did sell Collins 30L1 that I had, and Heathkit high voltage power supply, and a few other items. So there were a few buyers out there too, but some bargains on buying. I've got some guys that are doing some remodeling work. They've showed up here, so I'm gonna make this my last one, and get out here and talk to them for a few minutes. Say 73s, and thanks for calling it, Dave. And Doug, I did find a couple used 6LB6s. I'll try to run them through the tube tester here. But I've got some Galaxies that might have a good set in them. I think between all these rigs and what I've got here, we can find you some tubes. 73s, go ahead, Doug. W4DCS, WB4NKL.
Okay, Cliff, WB4NKL, W4DCS. You're way down on that transmission. I don't know what's going on. What are you running?
BC610, probably just conditions.
Okay, yeah, because everybody else was booming in. Dave came way up on the 500. Fine business. W4DCS here. And yeah, I had big signals from Dave, Steve, and Buddy and John. So, not sure what that must be conditions. It's dropping rain here like it's going out of style. It didn't get up here till last night, but we've had pretty much steady rain since. So I've got over an inch here too, guys. And it sounds like you guys are really cleaned up there in Berryville. John, man, all kinds of goodies. And your AL80, the AL82s are booming in here this morning. Envious on the AT5K. I've got an old AT1KM. I think they discontinued it, but it has served me well. But I'd love to have the AT5K. And yeah, not much else to tell here. I put my Galaxy 5 Mark III, finally got it on the air. It had some problems, but we got it worked out, and got on last night with the vintage single sideband group. Most of the guys down in Georgia and South Carolina. And so that's the story here. I'm on the FT101E this morning into the SB220 using a D104 amplified version. So that's the rig setup. So Jimmy, here it comes. K4JAL W4DCS.
W4DCS, K4JAL. Well, Doug, you got a good signal. It was way down when you first started on this net, and it must be the rain down there because Cliff was fine here. On the earlier net, you had a booming signal, so you got some weather down there. Not much going on around here. I'm sitting here dreading getting on the elliptical. It's my day to ellipticalize, if that's a word. Over to you, Glenn. N4AK, K4JAL. You sounded good too.
Okay, K4JAL, N4AK. Well, everybody's 15 to 20 over 9. And Cliff, you are 20 over 9 here, so it's conditions. there between you and Doug, I guess. Anyway, sounds like the sellers were really happy to see John at Maryville. And John, congratulations on picking up some wonderful boat anchors there. It's 65 degrees here in Sunset, raining. I do have a question. Steve and I have been talking about it. Buddy, maybe you know this. Now, capacitors is hard to find, like 150 microfarad, 450 volt capacitor with radial wires coming out of it. They have snap-ins. Now, it appears that the snap-in type capacitors have the same spacing as if it was radial wires. So the question is, will the snap-ins easily replace where you had a radial capacitor as far as fitting in the hole? So you'd probably had some experience with that. Anyway, we're on the FTDX10 in the bedroom this morning, and the SB200, we're about 100 watts. But everybody's clear as a bell, and heard George checking in like he was next door. K3OS in the group, N4AK.
Okay, N4AK, K3OS. Morning, everybody, finally. Yeah, sorry for the absence, but I still have a lot of noise. If you looked at my pan adapter now, you would see it's all white. Duke Energy was out, and they did fix one thing. It's a sparking transformer upstream from me, but I was hearing it big time. Well, that just exposed the underlayer. So I'm waiting for the next crew to arrive to see if we can't figure out where it's coming from. I think it's the pole, but I could be mistaken here. Maybe it's just being carried. But I've got on 160, 80, and 40. If it weren't for I'm running the RM noise software on the computer here. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't be able to hear anybody. I'm running like 10 over 9 on noise level. Running the ICOM 7610 into the amp so that I can pipe the USB audio into the software. Nice to hear everybody had a good time at the Hamfest, and I'll pass it along. Yeah, it's raining here in the foothills. It's been off and on rain, and it looks like gloom and doom outside. Over to George. Tell us good things about being at the beach. K4GDN, K3OS.
K3OS and the group's K4GDN. Well, Myrtle Beach, I can't tell you too much good about it. 2 weeks ago, we spent a week down on Edisto Island, and that was really nice. Instead of the people being 2 feet away from you, they were about 20 feet away from you down there. We're running the helicopter station this morning, the HT32B and the SX100, and driving the homebrew 811, letting, I guess, putting out about 125 watts on the AM there. And speaking of things for sale, I plan to come up for the Shelby Hamfest, and I've got several receivers I would like to try to sell. I've got an NC300, one that Glenn has gone through, as a matter of fact. Also a HQ170A and an HQ110A. All of them are in fine working condition, and I've also got a BC342, which is working, but I now consider it a parts radio, and I'd consider selling it too. So if anybody's interested, you let me know before then, and I'll bring it up. It's got a mixture of clouds and sun here in Myrtle Beach, and it hadn't really rained much in the last 2 days, but prior to that, it rained quite a bit. And the grass is really coming up because of it. But a week or two before that, it was really dry and hot. Band conditions here today seem to be pretty good. The band is very quiet, and even the signals that are down around S5 are coming in really clear. I copied everybody fine. My project right now is not a radio. I broke down and did something I'd never done before. I bought a used Harley. I've got a 98 Sportster 883 that I'm in the process of. What's good about the older switches I'm planning is a lot of people want to modify them. They don't like them how they come. So if you want to get stock OEM parts, particularly the quieter exhaust systems and things like that, it's pretty easy to find them. I've even had in the past dealers willing to give away brand new mufflers that they'd taken off the bikes. It seems like the Harley crowd now, all they want is noise. A friend of mine who was in the business until the late 90s, he was at the Harley shop down here in Myrtle Beach, said he didn't even want to be around them much anymore. All they wanted to do was make noise and drink beer. Anyhow, be that as it may. But anyway, it's kind of interesting. I'm learning a lot about them. I've never owned a Harley before. And, like I say, it's a project. So I guess with that, Dave, I'll turn it back to you. WA4LLR to group, K4GDN.
All right, K4GDN, WA4LLR. Okay, let me check. Do we have any other check-ins for the old friends? Come now. Okay, wonder where Charlie's at this morning. Let's see. George, the Hannah-Crafter station's doing a good job. Sound like you're going to have quite a few receivers for sale at Shelby. That's good. Gary, sorry about the plus 10 noise level. And I'm sorry having to deal with that. Hopefully Duke Power will do something for you. Glenn, the FTDX team's doing a good job. Jimmy, sorry it's exercise day. Hang in there, buddy. Doug, 101E's doing a good job. Sounds really good up here. Very strong. Cliff, glad you got 2 ham tests knocked out on the same weekend. And good luck with the remodeling. 7-3 to you. I know you had to go and get with your contractors. John, T150 is one of the louder signals on the band this morning. And sounds like you cleaned house at Maryville. Now, my question is, if any of the folks that were with you bought anything, how did you haul it home? It sounded to me like you had at least a pickup load of what you bought. And, buddy, 2 inches of rain. Well, the rain has stayed mainly south and east of us. We've just been in the fringes of a slight drizzle. In fact, I looked at the rain gauge this morning and it only showed 5/100ths of an inch. So just a kind of a mist and cloudy out there. And Steve, the Challenger sounds good. So all's right with the world, huh? Space weather, sunspot count's 86, solar flux index is 142, and the K is 1, so it's pretty stable. A few items from this day in history. On this day in 1962, Marilyn Monroe was found dead. I think she was 36 years old. On this day in 1930, Neil Armstrong was born. On this day in 1951, Canadian daredevil Red Hill Jr. attempted to go over Niagara Falls in a barrel made of 13 rubber inner tubes, some canvas webbing, and a fish net. They found his body the next morning. On this day in 1858, the first transatlantic telegraph cable was completed. On this day in 1861, Abraham Lincoln imposed the first federal income tax. On this day in 1914, the first electric traffic signal was installed in Cleveland, Ohio. On this day in 1924, Little Orphan Annie comic strip was first published. On this day in 1944, hundreds of Jews were freed from labor camp in Warsaw. On this day in 1957, the American Bandstand TV show began to air. On this day in 1963, the Nuclear Test Ban Treaty was signed. And that's pretty much it. So, back to you, Steve. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
Yeah, WA4LLR, N4LQ. That's quite a bunch of history there, Dave. Well, John, my question, KZ4B, is where are you going to put all that junk? I'm telling you, I know your garage was full, and your shack, and how many antenna tuners do you have now? I think you were up to 10 there in that last transmission, but I suspect you've got a lot more also, and amplifiers. Oh boy. Anyway, and you found another HQ110. I'm selling the one I had. There's a guy coming today at about 10 o'clock to pick it up, and I didn't use it very much. It's it's a nice little receiver, but I didn't need it. Let's see. I need to know if KZ4B and K3OS are going to be at the luncheon and come down here and ride to Spartanburg with us. And let's see, what else did I have? What I did to the Challenger yesterday was took out the RCA jack on the back. That was for the microphone, an RCA jack, if you can believe that. And you had to throw the switch over to phone to make it transmit. So I put in a 1/4-inch stereo jack and wired the push-to-talk over to the key so it would key it up. And also I modified the final so it would turn off in standby mode. And then put a new line cord on it, 3-pronger. Took off that fusible plug, which they all had back then, and put in a fuse holder in the back. So it looks nice now, and it works about like an honor. Anyway, I think my mic gain's up just a little bit too high here. But I guess that's about it. So turn it back over to Buddy, WB4ARK, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. Okay, Steve, well, you're booming in here. You've got a very good signal into Lake Wiley. Of course, we're not that far away, but I guess your signal is about the strongest, and that's to be expected with the distance. George is fair. I'm reading everybody on using headphones today, so I make sure I don't miss anything. But Glenn, your signal's pretty low today, as a couple of other stations. Our Cliff was fairly low too, but George, your signal was pretty good. And let's see. Well, I guess what we'll say next is Duncan called me about the time the net switched back over to Dave at this round, and said that somebody pulled into his shop property during the night. Must have been in a big truck, and ran off the asphalt part, entrance part, and hit the water meter unit and ripped it completely out of the ground, laying out broken in the parking lot drive-in, which is slightly uphill to his parking area, and water coming out of the pipe from the street at a very fast rate. So he's all upset, but he's going to have to pay for the water and having the pipe fixed and all that. But I told him, I said, typically the water company is responsible for the meter and everything to the street, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. That's a mess. Something to drive into on a rainy day. Yeah, they do stuff like that and then drive off, and you never know who it was, or Duncan's camera that he put up at the front door won't cover that distance, so out to that point. So he's all in a quandary as to, and nobody answers at the water company. So, so there you go. I'll tell you what, it never ceases. Well, Glenn, as far as your capacitors, yeah, leaded, axle lead capacitors are getting difficult to come by, especially an electrolytic type, 450 volts at 150 microfarad. I don't see why it would be of a bother, except for looks, to put a hole in the chassis if you could find a space to mount a can type capacitor. That would be perfectly acceptable, and might actually enhance the quality of the unit. I'm not sure what unit you're using, but you might have enough room to do that. Yes, you could use two different methods to put the hole in there. Would be a circular, a round reamer, a stepped reamer, or if you had a chassis punch, you could use that. But yeah, that does become a problem. I have had some success with some of these companies that advertise in electric radio having capacitors of that type, the axle type capacitors instead of the radio lead capacitors, and so that's about the size of it. So 65 degrees here. Temperature dropped pretty good from what it was yesterday in the high 70s. So with that, KZ4B, WB4ARK.
Okay, WB4ARK in the group, KZ4B, fine business, buddy. Good signal as usual. Let's see. Dave, transportation of all my junk is no problem because Mike ND4S and I rode with N4RY Robert Young of Tar Heel Antenna fame in his Nissan van, which is a huge van, and it was practically empty with all the stuff that I bought. And I didn't mention it, but I also bought a 13 section aluminum mast that collapses down to 6 feet. So it's a heavy chunk of aluminum when it's collapsed, which you could use to erect a vertical, and several other antennas that took up some space. Mike picked up the MFJ loop, the big aluminum loop, 40 through, I guess 10 meters, for our buddy Ken Kennedy. That he has 2 condos, and he's got the magnetic loop in one, and he wanted one for the other, but the MFJ closed down and he couldn't order one, so Mike found him a brand new one, and that took up a bunch of space, but that van is so huge, no problem. So that won't keep me out of trouble. And as far as how many antenna tuners do I have at least 12 legal limit plus high power antenna tuners, including a Merch that has a roller inductor with silver plated number 8 wire, solid wire on the roller inductor. And I plan on using that with a broadcast transmitter. And I think I can configure it, since it's a T network. I'll effectively have a Pi-L network with the second inductor of the L being that huge inductor in the Merch antenna tuner, and then the capacitors can be used to tune all frequency stuff or antennas. And I have and more antenna tuners beyond that. I'm more of a tunerholic than I am an ampliholic. So it's a very serious medical condition that I have. It's a shame Cliff is gone. It was interesting when Cliff made that last transmission, or next to last transmission. He was extremely weak, and then Doug asked him what he was running, and when he came back, he was back to his normal super high-powered signal. So I don't know if there's severe QS Baker did that, or there's some electrical or mechanical issue. But anyway, that was interesting, because he wasn't up and down. He was consistently weak on his lengthy usual transmission, and then when he answered, "I'm running a BC610," he practically blew my receiver off the table. So strange. I also picked up a Mint Menominee telegraph sounder. Most of the Menominee stuff I see is a little ratty, but this is absolutely beautiful, and for $20, can't beat that with a stick if you like landline telegraph stuff, which I do. And Steve asked, where am I going to put all this stuff? And I need to get rid of some stuff, and so I am packed, to say the very least. I hope I didn't unkey for part of this transmission. My finger was stuck under the level. lever. Let's see, anything else to comment on? I guess that's about it. Oh, it's been raining cats and dogs here since last night and today. It's really coming down. We haven't had rain for a month. It's just practically killed the grass. But it's making up for lost time. And so I should have to cut grass. And one last thing, Steve asked, I am definitely planning on coming to Steve's house for the luncheon on Thursday. Brian is not going to be available. He told me what he was doing, but it's he can't make it. And hopefully Gary can make it. Gary, you'll have to comment on that. But I'm definitely coming, Steve, and looking forward to it. So, now that everybody is asleep, take it away, Doug. And you're coming in good. W4DCS and the group, KZ4B, over.
Okay, John, KZ4B, W4DCS. And you unkeyed for like a split second, so no worries. We didn't miss a word. Amplihog. That's a good one. And Chuck, and for IYQ, came home from with 3 amplifiers from Berryville. I think he got 2 of them in Roanoke, and 1 up in Berryville, a 5200 Kenwood. No, that's not right. What is it, a 9000? And a couple of AL82s that he picked up. 5200, I guess, was new in the box, minus the tubes. So, he's an amplihog too. And talking about the capacitors, this Galaxy 5 that I got from Cliff had the power supply with it, and it used 4 100 microfarad 450 volt single section cans, and you can't find them single section in the can anymore, and the multi-section capacitors are like $45 a piece, and I am not going to do that. So I just rigged it up with some snap-ins, and you can wire to them, and so aesthetically it's not original, but it's a separate power supply, and I'm not going to spend what would that be, $120 or so for capacitors on a rig that you'd be lucky if you could sell it for $50. So there you go. Anyway, fine business on the Sportster there, George. Never been a motorcycle guy myself, but I know there's lots of them down there at Myrtle Beach, so I'm sure if you need parts or anything like that, you live in the right place. Enough out of me. Dave, thanks for calling it. I'll say 73 on this round, and wish all you guys a great day. And John, same here with the rain. It's been dry, but boy, it's been raining since it got in here last night. We're going to be greening up, so that's the story. Jimmy, here it comes. K4JAL, W4DCS, 73.
W4DCS, K4JAL, fine business, everyone. All these happy kleptomaniacs. No, a klepto steals, I think John pays. That's good, John. Hope your garage overfloweth. I'm going to go get on the elliptical and say 7-3. Hope everybody has a nice soggy day, and I'll catch y'all later. N4AK, K4JAL, 7-3.
Okay, Jimmy, K4JAL, N4AK. Some comments here. George, on the motorcycles. These rednecks around here tell me they want a noisy motorcycle because they're safer. So maybe they're right. If they got a lot of noise, you'll hear a motorcycle and start looking out for them. It's kind of holding off on the rain just a little bit, but I'm looking at the WRL Raleigh weather radar, which covers the whole southeast, and South Carolina's just green, color green for rain, so everybody's wet today. Something I've come across when somebody says they're set up for 220 volt, actually I hope they mean here in the Carolinas our nominal voltage is typically 240 volts, and heat kit, if you wire that up, you say 220, it's not 220, it's 240. Everybody's got 240 except ACOM. You can actually wire an ACOM up for 220, but if you got an ACOM, you better be sure it's not wired for 220, because when you plug it into the 240 lines around here, your filament voltage is going to be a little high. Buddy, sorry about Duncan's experience with the water meter there. That's a wake up, go into your business, and it spoils your day. Doug, your FT101 SB200 combination sounds very good here. So, enjoyed the chat with everybody this morning. I'll say 7-3s, and thank you very much, Dave, for doing the net for us. So, to you, Gary, sorry about your noise, and hope you soon get it resolved. K3OS and 4AK.
Yeah, N4AK, K3OS. Yeah, quickly, Glenn, you're looking for a 150 mic at 450. I've got a brand new radio you can have. Do you want it?
No, here's the thing. I got a high voltage board on the ACOM. It uses 8 of those, and of course the original board has just radials. Buddy misspoke about axials. The radials are the wires that come down, but nowadays when I look for typical capacitors, they have snap-ins, and I had been concerned that the snap-in spacing wasn't the same as a little round hole for the radials, and I guess the little radio holes are going to have to be enlarged a little bit, so the new type radials, the new type snap-ins, you know, it's got a little hook at the bottom, will work. That's what I'm concerned about. Thank you for the offer, though. K3OS and 4AK.
Yeah, okay. Now I got it. All right. And 4AK, K3OS. All right. I got a couple of those caps sitting here. Brand new in the bag. Anyway. All right. And to answer Steve's question, unfortunately, no. My wife has a doctor appointment over in Winston-Salem, and it's one I want to go with her. So I will be accompanying her on Thursday, and the chopped liver, the chicken livers are going to have to wait. Thank you for the offer, though. So, and I wish I could, but the dates just do the stars are not aligning this month with my calendar here to do things that I'd like to do, but that's the way it goes. So I'll turn it over to George. I'll also say 73s here and just hunker down for the day. It doesn't look like it's going to be too pleasant, but good day to get some work done on the inside. K4GDN, K3OS.
K3OS and the old friends, K4GDN. And still copying everybody pretty well. Even Glenn and Jimmy, there's a little bit of QSB on there. And speaking of Harleys and Myrtle Beach, if you look on Greg's list, in Myrtle Beach, you'll find that probably well over 75% of the motorcycles that are for sale are Harleys, and that's not true on the other Greg's list in South Carolina anyway, but there is an overabundance of them, and there's probably at least, other than the two OEM shops down here, which are owned by the same people, one in Myrtle Beach and one in North Myrtle Beach, there's probably at least 3 or 4 other independents that are mainly concerned with the autos. And like I say, it's not hard to find parts for them, at least not down here. Anyway, everybody seems to be coming in quite well, and even though the QSPs are a little bit, I'm going to say 73 on this one, and Dave, thanks for calling with that. I won't be able to make the lunch on Thursday, but maybe I'll get in here Thursday morning. Anyway, well, Brad, I'm going to say 73, God bless you, Brad, have a full rest of the week, and hopefully I'll be in your problem. I'm going to go for
All right, George. K4GDN and the old friends, WA4LLR. Well, 7-3 to you, and Gary, and Glenn, and Jimmy, and Doug, and Cliff. And that only leaves Steve, and Buddy, and John. So we can go a quick 73 round if you'd like to. Appreciate everyone checking in. Hope everybody has a great week. Hope to see you on the air Thursday, and hope to be down at the old friends luncheon on Thursday as well. So, Steve, over to you. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
Okay, Dave. Yep, Gary, I copied. Sorry you can't go with us. And John, we'll look for you Thursday morning. So with that, we'll say 73s and await 2 more inches of rain predicted for here. 73s and over to Buddy, WB4ARK, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. Well, amateur radio trumps the phone call coming in, so we'll have to pick that up later. Anyhow, it's pouring down rain right now. I mean, it's coming down pretty strong. So we're going to say 73 at this point. It's been a nice chat this morning, and hope everybody has a great upcoming week. So over to John, KZ4B, WB4ARK.
Okay, WB4ARK and the group KZ4B, fine business, buddy. One comment, even though everybody's just about gone, when it comes to eliminate or can capacitors, electrolytic capacitors, the newest electrolytics are so much smaller than they used to be that I just like to take the can out and put the electrolytics under the chassis. And that's a fairly, it's not a stock look, but it's a clean look. And so that's my take on it. Thanks for calling the net, Dave. You do a great job as usual. And Steve, I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. I won't be on the air since I'll be headed your way. So, looking forward to the chicken livers. Back to Dave, I think. WA4LLR and the eliminated group KZ4B, clear by listening.
Okay, John. I know that the chicken livers are trembling with fear already. Everybody have a great day. Stay as dry as possible. 7-3, God bless, Lord willing, we'll do it again on Thursday morning. This is WA4LLR.